Charles Darwin, you know him of course, Origin of the Species, but he was a botanist and he was very much interested in the growth of plants. Most people don't know that part of the story from Darwin. Well, this is one of my favorite plants because we got this plant when it was about this big when we opened our office about 20 years ago. And it has grown. But notice this, it is growing towards the light. We have big windows here, it is growing towards the light. And this is what interested Darwin. He didn't know why plants would gravitate towards the light. He decided to find out. So he masked parts of plants with black covering material to see what the effect would be. And he discovered that if he masked the tip of the plant, it would not bend towards the light. So he figured that there was some sort of signal going from the tip of the plant to the rest of the plant telling it to bend towards the light. Eventually, turned out that there were plant hormones that were manufactured within the plant. He didn't isolate the hormones. This came many, many years later. Chemicals called auxins, and they're manufactured in the tip of the plant. They scoot right through the plant and cause it to bend toward the light. Well, this is very interesting because it also gave rise to the concept of very specific herbicides or weed killers. Why? The idea was that if you could make a synthetic derivative of these auxins and somehow spray it on the plant would grow very, very quickly and it would outgrow its nutrient supply and it would die. And this turned out to be true. And a variety of herbicides were developed. 2,4-D or Kill-X is one of the famous ones, but the one that has been in the news recently is dicamba. It was introduced in 1967. And you spray it on plants and it kills them. It doesn't kill grass, it only kills broadleaf plants, things like soybeans. Well, you can't use dicamba, therefore, on soybean fields because it will kill the weeds, it will also kill the plant. However, there's a bacterium in the soil that produces enzymes that will decompose dicamba. And the genes that code for those enzymes have been genetically implanted into what we now call genetically modified soybeans, so that you can spray the crop and kill the weeds without harming the plant itself, the soybeans. However, there's a but. Isn't there always a but in science? What happens if a farmer who has genetically engineered soybeans that he can treat with dicamba, kill the weeds, but if the dicamba drifts onto a neighboring farm where a farmer happens to be growing organic crops? Now, organic crops cannot use any kind of pesticides, synthetic pesticides. And furthermore, what if that grower is growing soybeans, conventional soybeans, which are not genetically engineered, then his crop would be killed. So farmers who grow organic crops, and whether it is rice or vegetables of any kind or no citrus fruits, if there's a drift of dicamba, their crop can be destroyed. And this is a very, very legitimate concern. Now, the manufacturers of dicamba have said that they have developed formulations where the drift is absolutely minimized. But there's still a lot of controversy about this. And it's a very hot topic. How hot? Well, believe it or not, there was a confrontation between a farmer who was spraying his field with dicamba and one who was neighboring. And there was a fight. And eventually one of them pulled a gun and killed the other. So he was accused of manslaughter. It is indeed a very, very hot topic. And as you can see, there are two sides to the whole dicamba story.